afternoon, everybody. Afternoon.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Everybody get up in here. There we go. No Nick tonight. Nick is out. Let's see.
Nick ain't have much sports news, no way. Cincy trash, college and pro, the Giants trash. Every team Nick is on right now is terrible.
How the Knicks doing? Are they doing all right?
They're getting it together.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they got to build chemistry and stuff. So, like 10-7, I think last I saw. So, potential.
Yeah, they're in fourth.
Yeah, but it's a long season. Ant-Man 27, what's up? So. Yeah. Nick is not here. Oh, yes. I'll see if I can pull up those super chats. The stream got cut off early last week. Apologies for that. Thank you guys for reminding me.
Rob
but
Costas.
Yeah. What'd you say, Spike?
I said Rob Costas is stupid. He said you got the Anakin Skywalker hood on. And she about to go in on Dion.
I won't do the brother like that. I won't do him like that.
Hey, everybody in the chat, it's Lou's birthday, man. Y'all can sing it to him. Sing it to him, Rob. he stayed up for his birthday.
Stayed up for my birthday.
Yeah.
Good. Got a good nap in. Good birthday nap. So we good.
Yes. Everybody's sacred hero is really has a lawsuit and a rap beef. We will definitely cover that on Dad and Hip Hop for sure. So
that was the final nail in the coffin. If it hadn't already been done, that was it.
Yeah.
Right, just
FIFO, give me a mic check. Yeah, I thought we did. There you go.
Yo.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. This is the place for sports opinions collide. Dead in Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth Beans. Joining me on the show, we have Spike, FIFO, and Shelton. What up?
What up, though?
What's happening?
Chilling. It is a holiday week. So people are in and out. Nick is one of those. I heard, Spike, that he was going to audition for a role in Alex Cross' second season. That's what I heard he was going to do. He was going to play.
Hey, what would Nick play? He would play like one of the FBI agents or something that was. Nick would definitely play an FBI agent in Alex Cross.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the show with news that we need to jump into. The Colorado Buffaloes and the Alabama Crimson Tides could have both secured conference title appearances with the win on Saturday, but instead fucked up the church's money. Both received a harsh defeat. Colorado lost on the road to Kansas, a losing team, Kansas, 37-21, and Alabama fell to Oklahoma 24-3. Shelton, which loss was more embarrassing, Alabama or Kansas?
Or Colorado? You sound too happy about it, Ken, first of all.
I mean Colorado, my bad. Do I?
Yeah, you
You
sound
do.
happy about it.
You do.
The more embarrassing loss of the two, in my opinion, was the Alabama loss. You look at a team like Alabama traveling to Oklahoma, and both teams were expected to win, but the way Alabama lost 24-3 and the way their star quarterback looked, which was my guy, Jalen Miro, was very disappointing to watch, none to say the least. He played a horrible game, man. And I expected him to step up big in that game. And he didn't get it done. I look at them as being in a more perilous situation than I do Colorado, because nobody expected Colorado to be here anyway. So I look at the Alabama loss and the way they lost, and the way they got beat down is worse than anything else. But they both were bad, to put it plainly.
People, you don't follow much football, college football, I know, but just based on what you heard, I mean, you got Colorado with the win, and especially with BYU losing, I mean, they are in the title game and damn near assured a spot in the college football playoffs. Alabama was fighting their way in, but you know the program, you know the pedigree.
Yeah, it's not if you lose, it's when you lose. I've always said that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the situation here. Yeah, no, I'm surprised that Colorado lost. All they had to do was run the table, and they were poised to. It's not like this was a team that we didn't know what they were made out of. They definitely put it together mid-season, and I definitely thought their destiny was the playoffs. Because Nick keeps talking about the stats and wins and losses for Shedeur. The only thing that would elevate Shedeur even more is getting to the playoffs and having a good game or two. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not going to have that opportunity. He's going to, go to a bowl, but it is what it is. It's disappointing because this would have felt like vindication for Dion. Like I told you, but now it's kind of like, well, we're better than last year.
Spike, your guy, man.
So, two things. Kansas is a better football team than Colorado. They have better players. Like going into the season, Kansas was ranked.
You sure that type of player?
Yeah, they're a better football team. And I only say that to say Colorado should have still won that game based on where we are in the season. But me and you were talking, Ken. Kansas beat 3 straight ranked teams. They were supposed to be good. Something just happened at the beginning of the season and now they're getting their stride. So tough game for Colorado. What's more unacceptable, in my opinion, is Alabama with the chance to go to the SEC title game, losing to a brand new SEC member, Oklahoma. And now we're talking about the SEC thinking that they're the most dominant conference in football, and you have Georgia and Tennessee in the playoffs. Like no Ole Miss, no Alabama. Like you would think that this was people were talking about when you first started the football playoff that it was going to be SEC heavy and going to be Big Ten heavy, and those only people going to be in there. And now we're at the point in the season where Alabama can't get the job done. We got one SEC team in the playoffs, so I think the bad losses for Alabama 100%. Like and the guy coming in after Saban too, bro. This is the only year you get to do that, and you picked the first year. So now you got to be damn near perfect for the next 4 or 5 years in order to keep your job. So terrible loss for him. Oklahoma, I don't even feel like it's a good football team versus where I said Kansas is a better football team than Colorado, especially of recent. So yeah, this was disgraceful by Alabama.
And Shedeur was 21 of 29, so
Shedeur did his job.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. So and Travis did what Travis does. So your star stepped up. I look at Jalen Miro throwing 3 interceptions.
So dirty.
Yeah.
Man, that hit was so dirty. And they've had the montage of him not getting those quarterback calls too, Ken. I don't know who you called on the officiating crews, not to get Shedeur his calls, but it's disgusting.
Yep.
Look, I think what I heard, well, a couple of things here real quick. I told you guys, because people accused Spike of cherry picking which Colorado games we covered. And I said, I have been busy all of the last couple of Saturdays, so I have not been able to cover the Colorado games like I would have preferred, including this Saturday. As I was putting together, I was remodeling the closet. But oh man, y'all know I wanted to jump on there so bad. But I didn't get done until around 11 or 12 that night. Oh man, I started to take a break, but I knew I couldn't do it. But because, hey, busy is busy, right? And I knew we were going to talk about it today. And I knew DJ F86, he's been talking a lot of shit for the last couple of weeks. He's been a proud Colorado Buffalo fan. A lot of them had a lot to say, and it's cool. But man, Kansas was 1-5. They were awful.
No, don't do that, kid.
They were awful. They were supposed to be good, but they were not good. Spike, that was the issue. Yes, this is their third ranked team. And my thing is, what I heard out of everything you said, Spike, because I don't necessarily disagree with anything you said, but the most important takeaway I took was that Colorado can't beat good teams. That's what I heard. That's what I heard you say. I hear you say anything else, but here's a team that they got mollywopped and ran up and down the field. In all honesty, because my Apple Watch kept going off. And, I was getting updates on the game. I saw Kyle said they're going to throw for 500 yards. And, Nick said they were going to play in the Tubi Bowl if they lose. BYU was the game I was watching before I got started. And I was like, yo, if Colorado or win, because I didn't think they were going to lose this game. When Colorado played BYU, they were going to mop the floor with them boys. They just a little too... it's a lot of cream. It's a lot of cream.
A lot of raisins. A lot of raisins in the potato salad.
Yeah. So I was like, there's no way they're gonna destroy them boys, and it never happened. It never came to pass, and that's unfortunate for Deion. But I think that they still have an outside chance. Because anything can happen. These teams ahead of them can lose, and they could get another shot at if they win, and they should win. They should beat Oklahoma State or whoever they play. So I think it's a possibility for them to win. Alabama is definitely more embarrassing because when I saw that score, I was like, did somebody get hurt? Yeah.
I was just gonna say right now for Big 12 conference standings, you got Arizona State at 6-2, Iowa State at 6-2, BYU at 6-2, and then Colorado fourth at 6-2. So I think some things would have to happen, like you said. Iowa State and BYU would have to lose, and Arizona will have to lose, or they could play them in the championship game and beat them.
Who does Arizona State play?
I will pull it up, but Arizona State is in the playoff right now. That's the Big 12 representative.
Because I think one of those teams play. I think BYU got an easy matchup. I think they play Houston. They should win that game.
They play Arizona, so it's a rivalry game.
They could lose that game. BYU could lose. They shouldn't. Arizona. And Kansas State is the other one. Yeah, they could lose too because they don't look impressive to me. I don't care what the rankings say.
It's Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah, BYU.
Yeah, Iowa State could lose too. But nah, man, it's unfortunate that it happened. I think I like what Deion said after the game when he basically cussed them out and said that they just, they were feeling themselves. They got the big head. They thought they were better than what they really were. And that was one of the things I said. Like, we haven't seen them play, real competition. They're beating the teams that they should have beat. That's what they've done all this year. And Kansas was another one they should have beaten. But as the updates were coming in, I just knew that Colorado were going to come back and win that game. You get it within 21-20. I mean, that game was right there for the taking. So, but, it is what it is. And we'll see what happens this week. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I got a feeling something to happen and break their way. But yeah, man,
it would be
that's
good for
tough.
Because I'm sure they don't want Arizona State in there. Like, I'm sure that they would prefer a better Big 12 champion. But they're also saying Tulane may knock the Big 12 out altogether.
How is that?
because in the rankings of the college football rankings, Arizona State is 16, and that puts them at that number 16 slot in the bracket. If Arizona State loses and Tulane wins out, there's a possibility that Tulane may get in over a Big 12 team. Whoever even wins, even if it's Colorado. But I doubt if Colorado does it that they'll pick Tulane over Colorado. But they're saying if it's Arizona State, then Tulane could possibly be picked over them. So there you go with the Colorado has more popularity. Like the gist of that is the Big 12 isn't a good football conference. And Deion may be dominant in it in a couple of years if he stays. There's no good teams in the Big 12. You did say that last week. There are no good teams in the Big 12.
Anyway, but overall, they'll be in the bowl game, and I know the rating is going to be crazy for that. So we'll see what happens. But not Shedeur, but because nobody's even really talking about him. Everything's about Hunter, and I think that I think he's going to get the Heisman. So it's him, Genty. Let's do our Heisman update, and then we'll move on to some NFL Heisman odds. Let's see. Let's go to USA
Genty and quarterback from Oregon.
Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Ward is back in it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
he deserves to be. He's had a good year other than that flip up. So
does he deserve to be though?
He does. I mean, he don't deserve to be in the top 3, but he deserves to be in the top 5. Yes.
He third right now. Gabriel fourth.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. He's been impressive all year.
He would be leading if he didn't have that bad loss. I think he probably would have had a chance to win it.
Yeah,
he probably would have won.
That Georgia Tech game, was tough. But I mean, all these teams, this year have some knock to them. So ain't nobody just running the gamut no more. You'll see a lot more parity in football than you ever have before.
Well, yeah, especially with this transfer portal, it's wrecking havoc. I mean, you're talking about, Tulane, bro. I think that's just because normally when you have college football, you really don't. At least for me, I don't look past the top 10, and I barely get to 10 because I really don't care. It never really mattered who 10 was, unless it was really one-loss teams, and teams with no losses and one loss are really trying to fight for dear life to get a shot at the 4 playoff rankings or whatever they were. So now it added value to all these teams all the way down to 15 and 16. So what's going to end up happening, we're probably going to find out that these teams really aren't as good as they are. They've been screaming and begging to be included, and this is, and now they're going to get mollywopped and they're going to look at redoing this thing, or if the money's good, they're going to keep it going. Here's the question I have for you guys. I'm on foxsports.com, and this was updated as of 41 minutes ago. And on this 2024 Heisman odds chart here, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, 16 players are listed on here. Not one of them is named Shedeur Sanders. Why is that?
Because you had to pick, just like in any other situation. You look at in the NFL, you got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson on the same team. You have Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. These two, you're gonna pick between you're gonna pick the more dominant one, and he's gonna get all those votes. So all of the attention is gonna go towards that one player as opposed to picking both. And the school has to get behind that 1, 2. Otherwise, you're gonna split that vote. And you don't want that. You want a clear-cut winner. And it's Travis. Travis separates himself more so than Shedeur does from the Cam Wards and the other guys like that. So that's why you
would be true if I wasn't looking at 2 players from Ole Miss out of those 16 are on here, Jackson Dart and Trey Harris.
But see, neither one of them really have a chance at that award like that. With Colorado and some of these schools, because you run a campaign to win the Heisman. It's not just, based off your play. your school basically has to put you on a pedestal and kind of push you into that spotlight and put money behind you and advertising and everything else behind you for you to win that award. So Colorado is, as they should, they put their money all on Travis. Like, we're going to put all our energy and focus on getting the spotlight on him, because if you put both, they take away from each other. It's too much tug. A school like Mississippi, it benefits them, behooves them to do both, because they want more exposure. Colorado, they got the exposure. They just need they need the Heisman. So the best way to win that award is to put it all behind Travis. And if a player like Travis wins the Heisman, that's where everybody else is going to want to go. So that's really the smart thing to do, is put your money on the horse that you know is going to win this race, and not try to have too many horses in that race when you're that high up.
I don't think Shador won enough games last year. And when you're a quarterback, it's about wins and losses, like you've been saying all season, Ken. So I think he would have been in that if they had won enough games. They just did not. And Hunter, of course, is a more popular choice to some of the things that Shelton was saying. And I don't think that they like Shador's attitude. Like, I don't think the writers and people that were voting for that stuff in preseason, they don't like the watch thing. They don't like that he's as brash as his dad. Like, of course, we know the dog whistling that comes with that, but that offends some of the writers and stuff. And I think that's part of it too.
And also with quarterbacks, wins and losses in a war like that matters more than it does for like a skill position. If you got a skill position guy, their record doesn't matter as much as it does for a quarterback, because that's the first thing you're going to look at when you look at Shador, is the fact that he got those losses on his record. And it's hard to stack that up against a one-loss Cam Ward, or, looking at some of the guys like Dylan Gabriel, people like that. It's hard to stack a Shador up against these guys.
I think y'all need to look at this list, because if I'm talking about 16 players and not one is named Shador. We're talking about a guy named Eli Holston from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Panthers, they are 7-4. Ole Miss has 2 players on there they are 8-3. They have some DJ Giddens from Kansas. Okay, I know who he is. Jalen Milroe's still on here, but whatever. He plays at the SEC, so I get that.
That don't sound like hate to you, though, Ken? That don't sound like hate?
I'm trying to figure out why, if he's supposed to be the guy. I'm trying to understand, get some logic behind this whole thing. Rocco Beck from Iowa State. Of course, they have a good record, and he's so I understand that one. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I guess my thing is, I would expect him to at least be on the edge, like at 16. They are 8-3.
He should be. I can't answer why he's not, other than what I said is the school is just, but I've heard Dion mention the fact that he should be there. So even saying that is kind of tough, but I do digress. And we
what's the list? Like, what's the title? Is it a preseason list?
Hold on. It was, I'll drop it in the chat. And it's been like this. This isn't the first time. Like, he hasn't really been discussed for the Heisman. I don't know if that came through well enough. Throughout the year when we've had this discussion before. So I just wanted to see, especially with Carson Beck losing, with Jackson Dart losing, I was for sure Cam was going to roll off. So I don't know. I don't know where Fox got their data from. I'm just thinking they pull all this stuff from the other stuff. So maybe this is their own chart. So I don't know. I just wanted to, what does Vegas Insider have? Because they have Will Howard on here. They have a lot of people. So Shadur's on this one, way at the bottom. But it's way more people on. Anyway, I don't know. We wasted time on that.
And they are right. Yeah, he is going to be the number 1 quarterback draft. He may be the number 1 draft pick, period. When you look at it in the end, it may be Shador. Another thing that Dion said today was he was amazed that Travis wasn't on the Jim Thorpe list, which is a finalist for that award, which is the top defensive back in the nation. Dion said, as a matter of fact, y'all can have mine back, or he can have mine, because he deserves this award. There's no reason, it's a crime that he's not on this list. So it may be, Luke may be right. It may be a little bit of hate for them, because I don't know how you can leave him off, because he is He's going to be the number one defensive back taken in the draft. And I think he'll be drafted as a defensive back first. He will be a wide receiver, probably a wide receiver 3, but he's going to be a DB. And he's the first one taken. So I don't know how he's not the best in the country at what he does.
Yeah, that's definitely hate that he wasn't on the Jim Thorpe list. He's definitely a top 5-4 cornerback in the country.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you guys there. Hunter is that guy. He's definitely impressed me since I started watching him. So anyway, let's move on to the NFL. We will talk about the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens had a bounce-back victory on the road against the LA Chargers, winning 30-27. After this victory, are the Ravens a lock for being the second-best team in the AFC? Behind whom? I guess the Bills, maybe? Chiefs? I don't know.
I can answer that.
Second best team's a lock. No, I wouldn't say lock. I wouldn't say that at all.
We can't say that at all because the Steelers beat them, and the Steelers are still in first place in that division. You're not even the second. You're the second best team in your division. In your in the AFC North, you're not even the second best team there. So there's no way to be the second best team in the conference. So no, you got to get through Pittsburgh, and you ain't done it yet. So no,
and
that was just a good win.
Looking at their defense, we don't even know if they can stop Buffalo. Like, not only do you have to beat Pittsburgh, I really wouldn't be worried about them, and we'll talk about that later with Pittsburgh's offense and the struggles that they've had. Like, yeah, I ain't too scared of of them going into Pittsburgh and beating them. I could see that happening, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with having their defense stop Josh Allen either. I think that they'll be on like hell date if they got to go to Buffalo in the playoffs or even playing Buffalo in the playoffs. Like, there's a real problem with Baltimore's defense, so I couldn't confidently put them anywhere as far as other than the wild card seed. No,
they stopped them earlier though, Lou.
They did. Playoffs is a different game though.
Yeah,
like we know the playoffs is different. Like and their defense looks like it's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't really started. They're doing a really good job on offense right now of masking how bad their defense is. Their defense looked terrible last night even.
That was a close game.
They like come on.
They were a couple of close calls away from losing that game. If
drops, blown coverages,
drops, drops calls, and man, that fourth down, they went for it on fourth down in their own 20-yard line. That was the wildest. That was a gutsy play call. I don't know if I'd had the balls to do that.
They got it.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, look at they got it. If that wasn't his brother, he wouldn't have made that play call.
So okay, so who do you guys have do the top 3 then? In the AFC?
For me, it would have to be the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Steelers right now. Steelers did lose a game to the Browns, but once again, like we talked about, that was that was a divisional game, and it also was in snow and crazy temperatures and crazy weather. So I really don't count that as a huge hard loss, but it's still a loss nonetheless.
That got to be a pause now. If I would have said that, y'all would have been all over me. Huge
What?
Come on, man.
No, man, that weather was awful, and it was a divisional loss. Like I said, you're gonna lose. They're not gonna go. They ain't perfect. It's not a perfect team, but we talk about the Steelers, their leadership and their defense, and the ability to bounce back. They're a resilient team. I still put them ahead of Baltimore because they beat them head to head.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Shelton. I can't make an argument against, but would you put your money on Pittsburgh though? You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it, and I know that they beat Baltimore head to head, I'm still more fearful of what the Ravens are capable of and have done so far this season. Like you said, if you're going to shoot the Steelers bail for losing to the Browns, I'm going to shoot the Ravens bail for losing to the Steelers because it's commonplace, especially in the regular season. Lamar Jackson, 70% win percentage against everybody else, and has barely won 2 games against the Steelers. So it is what it is. If you're going to shoot the Steelers bill for losing to the Browns, I'm going to shoot the Ravens bill for losing to the Steelers. And to me, I'm putting the Ravens at number 3.
But the reason why you said what you said is the reason why you can't shoot them bail. They always lose to the Steelers. So how can you put them ahead of a team that they always lose to?
In the regular season, chose my words carefully. So I believe that if they see them in the playoffs, it's going to be a different story. I still got my money on the Ravens.
Check your mic input settings, FIFO.
I was just about to text you, FIFO. You got like some kind of weird feedback.
Yeah, and Baltimore lost to the same Browns team without the weather. So, we can't use that either. So that, that's a wash then because both of them lost to the same team.
I knew that Pittsburgh was going to lose that game because I saw a stat that morning that said that Tomlin can't win on Thursday night games. And I'm like, this is great. At first I was like, well, he ain't really had good quarterbacks, whatever. Yeah. But I was like, stats are stats for a reason. They identify trends or whatever that occur. So I was like, yeah, this would he probably would lose this game. And lo and behold, he lost it.
Yeah.
But we got a good Jameis Winston interview out of it, though. People are finally coming around to Jameis Winston after all these years, Spike. I've been an advocate for Jameis Winston.
The brilliance of Jameis Winston.
Oh, man. Jameis has always been a fun guy.
And he was mic'd up for that game, too, which I love. Listen, I don't know if y'all heard his mic'd up stuff, but it was pretty good, too. So he was trying to draw him offside.
Offsides, yeah. He was like, somebody jump offsides. God damn.
He deserved his own show. He gotta have a show.
Hey, he's a special dude. Like he needed a little Manning cast or something when he get done.
He do, yeah, man.
My bad.
I'd rather see him than Micah, Lou.
I would definitely watch him if he did some media stuff. My top three with Ken would be KC 1. Then I think it's interchangeable with Buffalo, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. I think all three of those teams are equal. They have their weaknesses. I wouldn't confidently put any of them at number 2, but if it's a playoff game and the Ravens have to go on the road to Buffalo, which it looks like they may do, I would put my money on the Bills over put my money on the Ravens. Just because I've seen the Ravens flame out in the playoffs before. I see what their offense started to look like when they get nervous, like we seen last year when they couldn't, I don't know what was going on when they wouldn't run the ball or whatever it may be. So, yeah, I've seen them blow it. I still think that if they had to go to Buffalo, it would be something hard for them to pull off. So I put them at 3. And then the Steelers, just because, like, you don't know what Russell Wilson, I put them at 4.
Chiefs, Bills, Ravens.
Yep.
That's my top 3 if I had to pick 3.
Why would you put the Bills over the Ravens?
I just got a feeling that this might be Josh Allen year. Historically, it's been hard for teams to three-peat. So there's one thing that's going against them. So coming out of the AFC, history tells us it should be another team. Patrick Mahomes is different. Guys that are different defy odds and stats. They make their own. But you will look at the Bills or the Ravens, and I think Josh Allen has been through a lot. So has Lamar. I think they both had heartbreaking losses, and just really trying to get over the hump. So if they faced each other in the AFC championship game to go to the Super Bowl, bro, oh my God, that is must-see TV.
Facts.
So yeah.
Is that more entertaining than Patty trying to get his 3rd?
I want to watch Patty get his 3rd, but if I ain't got to watch Patty, if it doesn't happen, then give me that.
Got it.
So why would you pick the Ravens over the Steelers, Ken?
Russell Wilson. And I just don't know what it is about Tomlin and offenses. He can't find the right OC. He just and for the last couple of years, he hasn't had the right coach not right coach. He hasn't had a quarterback. So man, when they had an offense, it was lights out. But it's just Russell Wilson, man. I mean, his experience enables him to make throws and reads and certain plays that Fields can't do just because he hasn't played enough football. So on one of those game go-ahead touchdowns, like when they had the blitz coming, Russ can make that throw because Russ has seen that. So he knows exactly how to put the ball in front of Mike Williams to catch that touchdown. But Yeah, it's just and you know, I just the offense is better, but it's not lights out. So they just got a guy that's not going to be able to make mistakes. But you best believe Russ could and can. So until I see a smooth running offense, a real identity, then I'll be more on board.
So look, obviously I picked the Ravens as well, but I don't know if y'all saw the thing that I put into the in the chat, where since the start of 2020, Russell has had 62 starts to Lamar's 63 starts, 98.1 passer rating to 98.2, 121 passing and rushing touchdowns for Russell Wilson to Lamar Jackson's 119. They both threw 38 interceptions, and they both have a 65% completion percentage since the start of 2020. So even though I picked the Ravens, I'm just saying, looking at those stats, you know, you say that Russell Wilson is the reason why you don't put him over the Ravens, but he is technically Lamar Jackson by the numbers in the last 4 years.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out. But I don't know, man. Yeah, this it's just a feeling. I don't like these feelings, bro. But you know, it's just I don't know. They want Josh Allen. They want him to get there, and this could be it. Anyway, there was not a disrespect this week, but we did. I mean, these kickers, bro.
Wow.
They continue to be the bane of teams' existence yet again. So, we saw somebody else, Washington, end up losing the game. I don't think that's even on here.
They put him on IR today too. That kicker.
Wow.
Washington did.
He needed to be.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to win that game. I would rather we lost. I want to draft.
Bro, I still don't know what that defense was that allowed him to catch and run that ball like that. It's just
like nobody even tried to tackle him. I've never seen that before.
It was like
I've never seen that before in a real NFL game. Like this shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, the safety looked like he was surprised that he had the ball and was like running towards the touchdown. Like he was confused on what to do.
That was the craziest ending to a game I've seen, and I don't think I've ever seen it ended crazier than what I saw.
That
play after play.
I blame that on Mike McCarthy, and Jerry Jones came out and said today. It's still no definite that Mike McCarthy won't be extended.
He said you can't tell by my body language what we're gonna do, and Mike McCarthy is a great coach, so he said it as if Mike McCarthy saved his job. So
he said he has some good ideas, is what he ended the quote with.
Yeah.
Where they at?
Mike McCarthy got great ideas as a coach.
Hey, Jerry Jones is crazy, man.
Y'all see Shannon Sharp almost cuss out Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, because he ain't know football.
Man.
Did y'all get what Shannon was saying right there?
I did. Wow, you didn't? You thought he was being rough on Stephen A?
I don't think Stephen A got what he was saying. I think Stephen A wasn't like Stephen A was glossing over the fact of what Shannon was like. Shannon was speaking from a real football perspective. I think Stephen A still had his commentator hat on, and that's why I think the lines got crossed.
Yeah,
100%. Where he was still kind of like in defense mode, like I'm trying to debate this, but Shannon's like, bro, like there is no debate. We've been there. This is what it is with this type of coach. Like, no, like.
But
it's one of those things where it's like, I'm telling you something. This is not I'm telling you something. I ain't asking you a question. I'm not asking you an opinion. I'm telling you something.
But to be fair, in that setting, you can't do that to your partner. You can't use the fact that you played as your defense. Either you debate it or you don't debate it, but you ain't gonna just say, I guess I don't know. I played, you didn't play. You can't do that. The whole reason, if that's the case, he don't need to talk no football there with you. You know what I'm saying? So we can't use that.
Started there though. Like Shannon didn't necessarily start there. He had to go there to drive home the point that I'm telling you how it is. There is no debate when it comes to this. This is how it is. And that's why he also roped in Teddy. He was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just so that you know, like, we've been in these locker rooms. Yeah, you've been around the locker rooms. Yeah, you've talked to people, but you're not there on the day-to-day. You know what I'm saying?
But if that's the case, we can't talk to Stephen A about basketball, football, none of this stuff, because he ain't played none of them. So to me, like I said, you're trying to kill his credibility as a journalist. And to me, in that setting, you can't do that. That's not how it's done. I don't agree with that.
Because here's the thing, like, this is not the first time JJ Redick didn't mince no words.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think at the end of the day, there are certain lines that Stephen A just can't talk past where it's not debate. Like, what they say is what goes because they've done it at the highest level. I'm outside looking in. There's no way that I can, if the professional is telling me that this is how it is, how can I outside looking in be like, well, no, I think it's like this when you've never been there?
But see, that's what I'm saying. Saying what you're saying, FIFO, means we can't have a show. If I'm on a show with an NBA player, I can't even talk to him because whatever he says is it.
You can have your opinion, right? Like that's fine. But the reason that people like Shannon, and I think he pulled in Mark Schiller, the reason that they're on the show is because they're experts. And there's a difference between you having your opinion and an expert telling you, like the same reason they bring the experts in on CNN or whatever show that you watch when you're talking about political stuff, or when they bring an expert in the field. I am now catering to you as far as because you know you've been there. And Stephen A wasn't coming up off of that fact like he should have. Like he should have listened to them when they were telling him, like, no, this is how it is. I think you can still have those conversations with Stephen A because he has a good opinion. He's well studied in all the areas. He's really good at his job. But when someone tells him something, it's like, no, bro, it's like you bringing in a consultant. And then you try to argue with the consultant about what they are experts in.
But that's
like,
but
you run.
That's not the. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
That's not the type of show it is, though. If our show, if you're coming in as a consultant, that's one thing. But if we have a show and we're a debate show, that's what we're supposed to be here doing. And that's what this show is based on. It's not based off the fact that you know more than me about a certain subject. My job is to debate. Your job is to debate back. But if you're going to shut me down by saying I know more, I can't win no debate because that's going to be your answer to every debate.
But
that's the beauty of it. Because that's the beauty of it. You don't have to pull that out all the time. But there's certain scenarios where that has to happen so you can be exemplary in your expertise. And that's why Shannon is there. That's why you bring Cam Newton on. That's why you have these people who are going to be able to say, like, I get what you're saying, but no, this is the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't lead. It can't be like that 100% of the time. But sometimes that's what they're there for, so they can reel it in and be like, nah, y'all off base. That's why we love to like all of these Jeff Teague and Carmelo Anthony podcasts.
Yeah, we
love that because they're able to give us the real inside scoop of stuff and not just really speak out of turn.
That's why I love when Chris Carter was on First Things First, because man, he was brilliant. Man, he would tell. I was like, oh, it was different. What are you going to say, Shelton?
No, I was gonna say I like the fact. I agree with that part. It's just the way what you say. I'm not gonna tell you I played it, you ain't. That's not something that I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you
he worded it incorrectly. Like,
yeah, that's my whole point. Is he throws that and he does. That's just how he gets when he gets emotional. He likes to throw that around. It's like throwing it around like I'm this. You can't do that, man. That ain't debate. You just say what you know. I mean, as a listener, I'm gonna know that he knows more.
Hey, look, he could have said it a better way, but that's why he's not Stephen A. Smith. That's why Stephen A. get paid the big money because he knows how to say that in a better way. Shannon don't. So
and FIFO actually already said it, but other people have told Stephen A. Smith that before, and JJ Redick used to tell him that all the time.
Yeah,
JJ Redick, he used to tell all of them that. He was like, I played the game. He probably wouldn't say it as emotional as Stephen A., but he would definitely say it. He was like, Stephen A.
Slick.
Yeah. Yeah, but I look, Shelton, I can tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than arguing with somebody about something you know that you've read from both. It just happened to me this past weekend in one of the shows, and I just said one thing, and it happened to Spike. happened to Spike too, where he was like, I'm just telling you, man, people will argue down about stuff that they don't really know because it may sound crazy. It is beyond frustrating. So I understand how Shannon felt. It's like, bro, like, I'm telling you what it is. Like, I know.
Like, I'm telling you something. I'm not asking a question. I'm telling you something.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I want to, because it's not on here. God, what was I got, look, I'm going to actually do an aside real quick. I'm gonna hijack the docket. Hey, man, Caleb might be all right, bro. Caleb Williams might be all right, bro. Hey, that was
got agenda.
I'm just saying, man, like I've been, it hasn't looked the best, but these last couple of games, it looked like he's settling in. And therefore, he's had some pretty good fourth quarters the last couple of games. They haven't resulted in wins, unfortunately. And this was another one that unfortunately weren't win, but he managed to get him into OT. And we know what happened with the kicker the last time. They should have on that game. But he had that fourth quarter, bro, and then that throw, and when they got the ball back to put him in position for the tied field goal, the 2-point conversion. Now he still does he still got to get the dumb shit out, like that sack he took in overtime. Like that's like when you just sitting there, you got all this time, nobody's open, bro. Throw the ball away because you're not going to be able to run around like that. And I think that cost him in OT. But I'm starting to see flashes. I'm starting to see it.
Starting, Ken? Man, you late to the game. This is what I've been saying all season. Look, they're a bad organization that haven't been able to put it all together. We blame Eberflus and the OC and all this type of stuff. It is what it is. But Ken, like the throw, are you talking about the throw to DeAndre Swift down the sideline?
No, I was talking about, I think it was the one to DJ Moore in the middle of the field.
Okay, yeah, that was like soup. But that's the one that I was like, okay, bro, like this is the reason why they compared this dude to Mahomes. Because it was a bootleg, but there was a naked defender off the edge. He had to outrun him. Mm-hmm. The way he threw that, Ken, and the angle that he threw that at, and also he couldn't zip it because there was 2 defenders in the area, and he had to throw it soft enough and far enough for DeAndre to just run up under. Ken, the dude got game. The dude got skill. It's going to take the organization to get the right offensive minds in that building because it's not who they have currently. And we knew that. The Bears should have known that. But it is what it is. They know it now. They definitely know it now. They're just going to have to clean house when it comes to that coaching staff.
I agree with Ken, you and FIFO. Like, he could be a generational talent, but it's still the same thing that we've said all season. Like, are the Bears organization going to be smart enough and do what they need to do and put the right offensive people around him? I would pay Ben Johnson from Detroit however much money he wants to come and make sure that he drives his Ferrari, bro. Like, you got to get the top of the top, upper echelon, and we don't know if Ben Johnson is a good head coach. I would concede to that, but he looks like one of the best play callers and I would want to pair him with Caleb Williams. So this is up to the Bears now. I agree with you, Ken. What we've seen over the last couple of weeks from Caleb, it's like, okay, damn. Even with Eberflus in there, he's like he ain't letting that bring him down. It's like, okay, I see what this is. He's finally got the realization of the ceiling that his coach can get him to. And he's like, okay, I'm just going ahead and ball and be Caleb Williams and the generational talent that y'all thought I was. And all the Bears got to do now is put the right people beside him.
And the crazy part, and I'll hand it to you, Shelton, is, I mean, we praise Jaden Daniels a lot, but statistically, they kind of right on par. You know, Jaden Daniels is starting to kind of fall down a little bit, as the season goes on. But what were you going to say, Sheldon?
I was going to say, you see, quarterbacks progress at different levels. I talk about it all the time. Some of them, it takes a little longer to get acclimated to their situations. It also depends on, we talk about that too, the coaching staffs that you have, the offense that you're running, skill position players that you're using, that you have at your disposal, your offensive line. All of these things matter. If you pick first, you're picked first for a reason. We talked about that. Kyle talked about that too. Even though it was not their pick, still you're in a position where you got the first pick. These guys, some of them get it. They got the talent. We knew he had the talent. We've seen him make the throws. We've seen him make every throw that imaginable to make. We've seen him be smart. We've seen him under pressure. He'll get there, and I think he's fine. He'll be there sooner than later. I think he'll be fine, and him and Jaden Daniels will have a nice, long battling career, and hopefully they grow at the same pace. So I'm proud of both those guys.
Let's talk about some two other quarterbacks, rookies at that. What do you think, Shelton, about Drake May and Bo Nix?
Both of those guys are impressing me as well. I wasn't high on either coming in to the season, and I say that because a lot of the things necessary. Bo Nix was a disappointment at Auburn. He couldn't get it together. He went out to Oregon and played. He played well because he was a veteran quarterback, but he was virtually a disappointment at Auburn. Same thing with Drake May. His last couple of years at Carolina, he started out hot and you saw he had talent, but he got figured out pretty easy. In his senior year, he didn't look that great. So going into the draft, it's like, okay, it's a tough situation for these two guys, and they didn't flash quite as hard as the other two, but both of them went in stable organizations with good situations, which even though New England is not Mayo saying some crazy stuff, I still think it's a good situation for him to be in and develop, even though he's struggling a little bit, but you still see the talent level there. I think they picked right. It's better than Matt Jones, and both of them are doing well. Bo Nix in a perfect situation with Sean Payton, run first offense, and he's putting the ball where it needs to be. Don't mess it up. That's what you got to do, and that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's coming along. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, that's all. And I was gonna add, y'all gonna give my boy Bryce some credit too. Bryce is coming along as well. He's not a rookie, but Bryce,
we're talking about rookie, Shelton.
I put him in there too. Bryce showing himself with it took him. He's an extended rookie. We're gonna put it that way.
He looked better than he's looked ever before. I'll say that. He has looked better.
He has.
Yeah.
But Drake May, man, it was a couple of weeks ago where he flashed for me. I can't remember against the opponent, but just poised in the pocket. Shelton, like you, I didn't expect much from some of these other quarterbacks being drafted, including Drake May. But now, man, he definitely has a lot of talent. And I think this too, we talked about the organizations. The Patriot way has superseded Bill Belichick. It's just whatever it's just the standard for a well-ran organization, and that's what they are. For the most part, everybody has their hiccups, but they don't have no crazy owner doing a whole bunch of stuff, trying to be all in the video and do all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Robert Kraft, he has his extracurriculars, but when it comes to football, he let the football guys handle it for the most part. And when it comes to Bo Nix, man, I thought he was gonna be all right. I didn't think he was gonna be a savior type of a quarterback. But I think this is the bigger story is about Sean Payton because again, all I know on this broadcast, on this telecast, Dead End Sports, there were quite a few people talking about that Sean Payton was washed. Sean Payton ain't this. Sean Payton ain't that. If he was something, he would do something with Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? And here come Bo Nix.
Put a name on it. Who said it, FIFO?
Hey, man. Hey,
I know he was in my top coaches. I know he was in my top coaches list. I stand on Sean Payton. I said that. What I would say, if we'll pull the tape, just if we're doing I told you so's, we'll pull the tape. I called Bo Nix as well. I said that he was going to be offensive rookie of the year. I called Bo Nix because I was a Sean Payton fan. Yeah. I don't know how good he is, but I know that he's in a good system, and I know that having that much college experience, somebody made the joke. He was in I know they asked dude about the film on. He was like, bro, we got 10 years of college film on him. We don't need we know what he is. That was hilarious. So I think that Bo Nix really had the benefit of being a veteran college player, and then he got to hook up with a coach who's really good at his job. And now you have what we have in Denver, and they'll get the rest of the roster. That defense is solid. Who was the other one you said?
Drake May.
Drake May.
I believed in Drake May. I thought that he was good. I think that he was in a bad system in North Carolina. Mac Brown just got fired. He's way too old to have that job. If Drake May had some young blood in there to get him some different plays, I feel like that you would see, or you would have thought about him different, Shelton. I think that if he also, just like Caleb Williams, he gets a good offensive mind there in New England and gets someone that can coach him well, he can be good too, because he has the physical attributes that he needs to be a good NFL quarterback. He's a little reckless, reminds me of Will Levis right now, as far as how reckless they are. Like that I feel like they're the same dude, but Will Levis is bad coached. So if we can get Drake May a good coach, then he probably will be good in New England. But I don't know if that's going to happen, and I don't know what's up with them sticking around with Mayo. But yeah, I think if I had to pick out of those two, I would go Bo Nix, but I think Drake May has the higher upside.
Yeah, I don't want to be fooled by Drake May the same way I was somewhat fooled by Will Levis last year. But I see sparks.
But when you say fooled, like, do you feel like Will Levis is what he made you think was that he was going to be like a perennial starting quarterback, like a really good pro?
Yes.
Like,
no, not that. But I thought he was going to be a starter.
Yeah, he would be serviceable.
He's
be
awful.
Like as good as Sam Darnold, but he's like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to just fall apart. I was like, oh, he may not be Zach Wilson. You know, he may not be that awful. Josh Rosen awful, like hyped up and just can't play at all. Last year it looked like it was like, okay, he might be all right. You know, you probably ain't going to win a Super Bowl with him, but he could definitely get you to your quarterback. You get the right OC, maybe win some games. You know, maybe
just as good or better than Tannehill.
Yes,
that was his thing. Like,
but he's not even that. He's not even that. But you know, it was a couple of plays I saw from Drake May. There was one where he was running around, and then he tied the game. I think Slack and we saw that one. I was like, "What are you doing?" But he made a play, so there's a little bit of a playmaker in him. But you know, I don't know if there is talent, real talent there that needs to be unlocked. Mayo is up out of there quickly. Trust me. They're going to get him out of there. They ain't going to wait. They ain't going to lose him. One more rookie before we go into the rest of the doc. And then I'm going to read the super chats from last week before I also get to the second half of the show. But one guy we haven't really talked about, Marvin Harrison Jr. And I wish Nick was here because Nick loved Marvin Harrison Jr. What's going on with him? I don't see highlights. I saw like one play that Kyler Murray threw to him to help beat the Niners.
Now, see, this is a difficult one. And the reason that I say that is because I don't want to lean into the stigma that we have about Kyler Murray and him not studying or not him playing video games when he reads his playbook. But I do feel like another quarterback of his stature that's doing as good as the Cardinals are doing would find a way to incorporate Harrison Jr. more into the offense. And I ain't even talking about play calling because I watch, disclaimer, Murray's on my fantasy team and Connor, so I watch a lot of the Cardinals games. And it ain't that Murray ain't like he's throwing it around, he's giving it to different people, but it doesn't look like that he's looking for Marvin Harrison like we would expect him to, like we seen Harrison at Ohio State being a generational talent. Like you would think, okay, I'm gonna throw it up here for him, and it can be a 50-50 ball, and he gonna get open. Like he don't do that for Marvin Harrison. He'll like run, or he'll give it to Connor, or he'll throw something in the slot and get it to the tight end.
Yeah,
McBride, exactly. He had a big game last week, and it's like they just don't look for him. And I may be leaning to saying that because Murray said that earlier in the season. He was like, well, I just go out there and do what I do. I don't look for him specifically. But I think if you ask Joe Burrow, he looks for Jamar Chase. Dak Prescott looks for CeeDee Lamb. Even Jaden Daniels being a rookie, he looks for McLaurin. And I don't watching as much of the Cardinals as I've watched them play this season, Kyler doesn't do that. Like he depends on his legs more than he would to look for a receiver like Marvin Harrison, and at some point it may bubble over unless they figure out how to fix it. I know their coach is a first-year coach. Maybe he got to get a rein on everything this year. They're doing better than they expected to do. So it may not be a pressing issue, but it's going to come up as far as Marvin Harrison being as good as we know he is, and he just don't get the opportunities that he should in the offense, and it's on the quarterback. And the quarterback is having a decent year.
Yeah, because we saw it early in the season where, they didn't use him, and all of a sudden he got called out, and all of a sudden Marvin Harrison had a huge game, but then he's tailored off since then. You know what I'm saying? So that's a situation where I do agree, like, offensively, you have to feature him. Like, he got to get touches, regardless of however you get him touches. Run game, whatever. And even though I know he's not necessarily a jet sweep type of wide receiver, but
Put the ball in his hands.
Put the ball in his hands, bro, however you can do
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I definitely agree with y'all. They're not utilizing. Because, by definition, Spike, everything that you said, you're defining a number one wide receiver. That's what number ones do. You throw it up.
Right.
Hey, if I put this hand up, bro, I don't give a damn. You see 2 DBs right here, bro. Throw that joint.
Throw the ball.
No, I got
it. I'm him. Throw me the ball.
Yeah.
And he's a quiet guy, so he ain't really making no whole bunch of noise like that. So it's really and with Kyler is a small quarterback. He's gonna get it out or he's gonna go. He's not gonna hold it long. So that's why Trey McBride is Trey McBride is the easier option. Let me get it to my tight end. He's the number one option. He's the number one receiver on that team. Now Marvin Harrison does have 500. He has 36 receptions for 550 yards. But that's nowhere near 6 touchdowns, but it's not enough for a number one receiver. So they got to figure out ways to get him the ball more, get creative.
Put him in motion. Short game.
They need to be creative.
Screen game. Yep, right. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I take what you said because I'm legit asking because I haven't been really been watching them like that. So I was just kind of curious what was going on in there because he had 4 catches is open in week 1. Then he went for 130 and 2 touchdowns. And then after that, it's been 60 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, 2 receptions, 3 receptions. He had a 111-yard game after that, but he's only had 2 100-yard games on the season. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, he looks like he can play, but there must be something else happening up in there.
They're trying to use him. They're trying to use him like Seattle uses DK Metcalf. And he's just not that type of person. They should be using him like Detroit uses St. Brown. Like that would work better for Kyler. But they're trying to just have him on go routes and just use his speed and like just how big his physical presence, and that don't work for Kyler Murray. So he don't trust in that it don't look like.
But it don't work for Marvin Harrison either. Because that's a part of his game, but he is more St. Brown than DK Metcalf. He's physically DK Metcalf, but game-wise, he's way more St. Brown. He's a refined route runner as a rookie. Put this guy in motion, let him work the short game, let him work the medium game, and then you can get him over the top. But you gotta work them, and they're not working them. Because I agree with you, Spike. I haven't watched as much Cardinals as you have, but I have tapped in, and like it's all deeper type of routes, and it's like, nah, bro, like let this man cook. Let this man cook. They're not letting him.
Super chats from last week. We have, and I, of course, am unable to display them on screen, of course, because that was from last week. But Rob said, top of the evening, everyone. He was happy that his Grey Cup champs won. So congratulations to him on that, Kev.
That one, Kev.
Yeah.
You purposely skipped over that.
Man, they wanted to know if we're going to hold Embiid accountable for being a losing player. Embiid is not a losing player. He is losing this season, but we cannot say he's a losing player.
And I've said this for years. Come on now, let's not start that. Let's not start this topic like that, Ken.
Start what?
Embiid and holding him accountable. I've been doing that. Go run the team.
Yeah. But he's not a losing player. I took umbrance with that part.
He's an underachieving player.
What
I'll
does he
say
want?
that.
What does he want?
That's a better word. Thank you, Shelton.
What does he want?
Underachieving.
What does he want?
When they say losing player, I'm sure they're talking about winning championships, getting to play in the final. And I'm sure that's kind of where you were going. I think as well, Spike.
Mine is
I
showing
know,
up,
but
showing up in
that
the
doesn't
playoffs.
make him a loser. Right.
He's a losing player.
Oh, Jesus
Like,
Christ.
He was just called out by the youngest dude on his team as far as you always late, you're never fucking here. Like, we can start putting the pieces together now. Like, he's a losing player. We see why.
No. Underachieving is better. The man that, I mean, you can't call a MVP a losing player, bro. He's been winning all this time. He's an underachiever. He just can't win the big games. He can't get to the conference finals. Mm-hmm. But losing player, I think that for me, that's a whole different definition.
Who is that?
This is something. Hold on. I'm gonna define it. Hold on, I'm gonna define it because these are all talking points that I've had in the past in regards to Joel Embiid. When the moment is the biggest, he shrinks. He doesn't show up. I've always asked for Embiid, regardless if you win or you lose, give me that 40-point, 20 rebound, 4 or 5 block game in a game 7, and you lost, and I'll come out here and I will defend you. That's not because of you. But every time he's in that moment, he shrinks. Ken.
You know what this is, and I can end this right now. I'm taking this a little too. I'm taking it too literal, and it's just so. Yeah, I think we can move on to whether or not he's going to be held accountable because I can't. I'm way too pragmatic. I just can't shake the fact that losing player to me is somebody that can't even make the playoffs. That's what a losing player is to me. Like, you can't even win games. He's going to be that this season unless something happens. But that's what a losing player is to me, Spike, is somebody that can't even make it to the playoffs.
Got it.
Yeah. So
like Trae Young.
Trae Young is turning into that. You know, he had a couple of good seasons. Now he's turning into a losing player. He's underachieved. He can't even make it to the playoffs. Sometimes the teams are 500, below 500, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of how I look at a player. But Embiid just haven't been able to get it done. And look, I think I've even told you guys, and I think I may have said it on this program, so I'm not disagreeing with him not getting it done. Because I even said that I am on the mindset that Embiid probably won't even win a title. It looked like that's just how his career is going to go.
I agree with Shaq.
And it's going to be unfortunate. What's Shaq say?
Shaq was like, until he changes his attitude, he's not going to win no championship.
What type of attitude do y'all think he has? What's his attitude?
He's a sore loser. That's number one. He doesn't have a serious enough mindset. Obviously being called out by Tyrese Maxey, not being on time for stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And being an MVP, bro. Like you're the MVP. Like, you're supposed to set the tone for all of this. And
you don't think he got the dog in him?
That's championship pedigree. And that's what champions are made of. Champions come early and stay late. And he ain't that.
So my question, do y'all think that Tatum has that?
Tatum got a title, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked Ken, because I don't know that Tatum has that, but I seen him get a title. So
and it's easier to me. Yeah, I was gonna say it's easier for me with Tatum because they have leadership surrounding that team, and they have people with championship pedigree. So it makes it a lot easier. Tatum doesn't have to be the leader of that squad. Joel Embiid has to be that leader in that locker room because he's the tenured guy.
Wait, hold on. Before you go to Luka, look, think about this with the Boston organization. When Tatum was drafted, who was the head coach? It was the good son. What's his name, Ken? The good son.
Brad Stevens.
Right? Yeah. And who was the GM? Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge moves on, right? Who was on Brad Stevens' staff? By Ime Udoka. It's very familiar, right? Yeah. People have moved on, but it's familiar, you know, and that's the mark of a good organization. That's why Boston is where they are. And the leadership role maybe doesn't fall as heavy on Jason Tatum's shoulders as it would be.
Okay.
But it is what it is, though. It is what it is. Everybody's situation is different. Embiid has to rise to the occasion. This is part of your hero origin story. Right. You have to figure this part out. LeBron needed some of that. That's the reason why he went to Miami. He's like, I've done everything I can to uplift this badass organization. They can't do it.
Right.
I got to learn how to win. And he came back and did it.
So is that where Embiid is? Embiid has to learn how to win. Does he need to leave Philadelphia?
I don't know. Look, everybody's story is not the same. Everybody's journey is not the same. What I'm gonna tell Embiid, I don't know if he got to leave, but he got to man the hell up. He got to man the hell up.
I don't think he got that in him. Like what y'all saying, I don't think he got that in him. I don't think that's him. I don't think like if he goes somewhere, I know he's a number one player, but if he goes somewhere and someone else can teach him that, or he learns that, like from a Pat Riley, like from LeBron, like LeBron did, like what you're saying, FIFO, then yeah, I would give it to him. But if it has to come from him in Philly, I don't see it happening.
Which is crazy because Maxey and this McCain kid look like they can play, and Embiid's been out. Yeah, and Embiid's been out, and that contributed to the record. But I mean, now I'm thinking, well, shit, could Nick Nurse coach? Like I'm questioning a lot of things now, bro. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. This isn't good. And yeah, his rep is probably going to be shit.
What do you want to ask about Luka? Because I want to transition after that too.
Does he have what y'all are saying that Luka? Excuse me. What y'all are saying that Embiid doesn't have? Does Luka have that?
Yes and no. So Luka has.
Sounds like a no to me.
No. I got you because it is a little different. It is a little different. Luka in big moments has played big, and he doesn't shy away. He may have a bad game in a big moment, but it ain't because he only took 4 or 5 shots. That motherfucker jacked up 23 and only hit 2. It is what it is, but he's going out gunning. So he has that killer instinct. I question Luka's work ethic. I don't know why it just seems like he's not in the shape that it would require of him to be a more dominant player. And I feel like that is the only thing that's lacking for him. He's not going to be able to run faster, jump higher, but I think he needs to be able to outlast his opponent more. Because when you watch him, especially when it comes down the stretch, he starts to complain a lot because he's tired and he's trying to buy time. Don't be tired. Be in the best physical shape that you have, because he has the killer in all of that. When the lights is brightest, he wants to be the biggest star. He has that. I don't question that. But he has to be able to outlast his opponents, and he doesn't do that. And he becomes a whiny baby when he just doesn't have the stamina. And that's why I said yes and no, Spike.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to transition one more place since we finally talking basketball. And I'm excited over here. LaMelo Ball. LaMelo fucking Ball is balling.
Hooping.
Like balling. Like looking like, yo, I'm a top 3 basketball player in the league right now today. Like that's what he's looking like.
But what does that mean for Charlotte?
I was gonna say, Lou, I'm impressed with what Melo is doing, but at the same time, we need a complete team effort and start seeing some wins out of this.
It's we.
Oh, it's always been we. I ain't never shied away from that. I'm a Hornet for life.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were a Hornet for life.
Yeah. Win or lose, I'm there. But yeah, we need to see wins from that, and it's not translating so far. And I know a lot of it is, the team depth. They don't have a lot of depth. They have a lot of young players. It's Melo and some other guys. So I'm not gonna put too much stock into a bunch of scoring, but it's pretty to watch. It's fun to watch. Put it that way.
He's getting triple doubles too, Shelton. He's getting 12 assists. He's getting 10 rebounds.
He's the 12th seed in the East.
He hooping.
And the East this is terrible what I'm reading here. Like the Magic are the 3rd seed, the Knicks, the Bucks, the Heat, the Pacers, the Nets, the Bulls, the Pistons, the Hawks. Like what
he scored 40 on the Magic, and the Magic won, I think, 99-84 last night. So it's
so my question to you NBA guys is could he do this all year? And maybe lead the Hornets to the playoffs?
No. The thing about what I hope for as a Hornets fan is that he stays healthy all year. That's what we're yet to see with Melo, is him staying healthy. Then he needs to learn how to win games, because it's one thing to score points, It's easy. It's not, well, in today's NBA, it's much easier than it ever has been to score points. But it's another thing to win these games. And until he learns to win, all of this is empty calories, to be honest. But once again, it's fun to watch as a fan, but I want to see it turn to wins. And that's when we need the Brandon Millers and the Mark Williams, who's been, I don't think Mark Williams has played all year yet, but he's our, he was top draft pick at center to step up. We need Miles Bridges to show he's worth keeping around. All those things
Is
need
the
to
chat
happen.
right? Is the chat right? Taj Gibson plays for them?
Yeah, Taj Gibson is. Yeah, he does.
Crazy.
He does. He's there for vet, but no. He's not there
What?
to play. He's being forced to play. But you know how Udonis has a role. Yeah, you need a veteran on that bench. So I'm fine with Taj Gibson.
Was getting like minutes.
He is getting minutes right now, and the reason why he's getting minutes is because of injuries. The guy, two of the centers went down. That's the only reason he's on the court. It ain't like he's in the regular rotation. Now,
here's my thing.
Go ahead, Ken.
Here's my thing with LaMelo, because I see the numbers. They crazy. He balling. I think it's going to be a problem. And I think it's probably going to be a problem for Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
It feels very ego-driven for LaMelo. And I think look, I'm telling you, bro. Shelton's right. It's all about wins. We know you can do that, bro. We got to win the game.
No, wait. Hold on. We don't know that you can do that because he hasn't been explosive like this and consistently like this since he's been in the league. We saw flashes, Ken, but he hasn't dominated. He's literally dominating right now. And at the end of the day, Ken, when you have
that result in wins is what Ken's saying.
Hold on. I'm gonna get to that. Let me. We starting over here. We're gonna wind up there. One of the things about a scorer, Ken, you have to have ego. Gilbert Arenas had to have ego. Like, oh, you want the ball? No, fuck that. 1-4 flat. I'm shooting this shit up. Go get the fucking rebound. You want to score? Big man, go get the rebound, get a putback. But if you get that rebound, they double to you, better kick that thing back out. You have to have a certain bravado and ego if you're going to score like this, Ken. That's number one. Number two, it's not resulting in wins because guess what? He's young. And this organization has been bad. And they don't know how to win. Remember what I said about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Separate them or get them a point guard. I think that they need a point guard because Brandon Miller is the prototypical wing and LaMelo's a scoring guard, right? Get a guy that can get the distribution. You know who we seen go through a run like this, but then the organization wised up and got the front office and everything in check and brought in the veterans that Shelton's talking about? Houston with Jalen Green. Started dominating, but it wasn't resulting into anything.
To Ken's point, though, FIFO, do you think that Melo will be open to that?
I think Melo is.
He think he'll point guard. So
no, Spike. He is, but here's the thing with Melo. It feels like Melo, as long as Melo get his numbers, he don't care if they win or lose.
It's okay, right, and you're right, Ken. That's the whole thing. You got to be fighting. You got to be.
That's
fighting.
Okay.
You got to be fighting. No. It's not. FIFO, he's on the second contract already. He's already on the second contract. So he is still young, but at the same time, at some point, it's got to click to you. The only, like I said, the biggest thing for me, and I said it all this whole summer, and I'm saying it again now. I want to see him get through this year healthy. He's only young because he's been injured his whole career. Mm-hmm. So I need to see him get through a full season, first off. And yeah, I'm impressed with the points, but at the same time, let's put together some defensive stops. Let me see some defensive highlights. Let me see you get some steals in there. Let me see you lead this team. He's a leader.
I don't disagree. He is the leader, but we know that some people don't get paid to do all of that other stuff.
Stop it, FIFO.
Get paid.
He the face of their organization, bro. He got to care about winning. Like that's impossible for you to be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay that he's scared. Like,
I'm not saying
it's cool that he went out and got 50 and 40 and 30. Cool.
What comes before the wins is establishing yourself in the league. That's what comes before the wins. And also winning is an organizational thing. It's not just him. He don't know how to win at the NBA level.
It starts with him.
It starts with his attitude. and we don't know what his attitude is. You know how we were talking about Shannon Sharp telling us, telling Stephen A. about certain things? We don't know because we're not there on a day-to-day basis. It could look ego-driven from the outside looking in, but we don't know. We don't know if he's the first one and last one out every single day. We don't know. Maybe he is that guy, but maybe that organization. I'm just saying we don't know. So things can be true.
He got the clips every day of him pulling out in the whips before. He looked like he the first one out there. I ain't even hold Every day he posts a clip. Every day he posts a clip of him pulling out the gym. He look like he the first dude.
Look, I ain't want to say it. I love Melo, but yeah, he get up out of there.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how dedicated he is to winning. And I don't know if that's perception that they painted of him. I don't know if it's just me looking at him and thinking that he don't care. But you can see the talent, but I don't know about like if he got that to make the team better than it's going to be. Like I would say SGA does do that with his team in Oklahoma City. Like you can see
because
him,
he plays defense. He's dominant. He's a dominant wing defender.
Whatever it is, like whatever the thing it is that makes it look like it. When I look at those two, it looks like SGA cares more than Melo does. You know, Melo may be more talented, but it just looks like other people care a lot more about winning games than he does.
Right. Because they're in a position to win games. OKC is in a position to win games. The Charlotte Hornets don't have that level of talent on that roster.
Correct. So therefore, FIFO, you do need more from Melo from both ends of the floor. You need him to do the little things as well. And for him to be at the level that he's capable of being, he has to be that. He got to do it. And in Charlotte, unfortunately, it's very difficult to attract the top name free agents. You're not going to get the splash signing. You're going to get the mid-level guys. These mid-level exception guys are your splash signings. When we got Gordon Hayward there, players like that, you got to hold on to Miles Bridges, even though he had all these problems. Getting the Brandon Miller signing is good, but your players are going to come through the draft, and these mid-level guys to come in and fill it, plug and play spots. You got to make sure that these guys that you drafted, which he is the elder statesman in the draft room in that place, he has to be the leader, and that's what I'm looking for Melo next. And I'm not mad at him at all. Like I said, I'm having fun watching their games, but I'm waiting on him to take that next step.
I see the same thing in Melo that y'all see in Embiid. It looks like the same thing to me.
It's more Luka to me.
The only reason, like I said, the difference in him and Luka is the fact that Luka has been able to translate that to winning. So,
Melo only 23 years old.
Yeah, he's young. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a kid. That's what I was gonna say. He ain't Embiid yet. Yeah, he's a kid. He is a kid.
LLV, man. I didn't know he was that young too.
Yeah, he just been in the league for a minute. That's the thing. But once again, he's been injured these years, so he's been in and out of the lineup. But Luka has been winning, so that's really the difference. Now he can follow Luka's path and galvanize the team and get them there, but it's still a little bit more difficult because you're not going to get a Kyrie Irving to come join him in Charlotte. You're not going to get one of those.
I wasn't aware that he was just 23. Yeah, he still got time. I agree with what y'all saying now. If he's just 23 years old, then this is perfect for him right now in his trajectory.
Mm-hmm. He's fine.
He doesn't seem like he's older than that.
These guys come in.
He's been around for a minute. Yeah, they come in at 18, 19 years old.
Okay, he's gonna be okay. Yeah, I take that back. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Vibes and stuff said Jerry Jones is Joe Biden of football. The Colin decline is obvious. Rob Costa, y'all really thought Flop Purdy was worth $70 million? I don't know, Rob. Hey, I
don't think
49ers might not think so.
I don't think nobody. Yeah, I don't think nobody thought he was worth that. It's just the market.
No. Yeah, Rob's being funny, but I definitely think that after last Sunday, he definitely earned a check. I think they definitely know that. So with Braylon Allen out there, man. But you know what? Man, I don't know. I was thinking Sunday. I think it might be over. I think they run is over, bro.
The window's closed?
I think so. I think it's a wrap.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think
Debo be out there doing cardio.
Debo out there beating people up, doing cardio, like you said. But the crazy thing is, that's the hardest division in football. Like that in the AFC North. Like we are used to the 49ers just dogging that division, but now the Cardinals are good, the Seahawks are good, the 49ers are okay, and the Rams are good. So now every week they got to show up. Like it's crazy how quick that window closed, Ken.
And they still in the hunt for the division, which is crazy. But they do not look good. Yep, they do not look good at all. And they losing those close games. So I don't know. Like, what do you do? And I guess, when we do our postmortem after the season over, we can have this conversation about what's next for the 49ers, because they got Ayuk locked up, Trent Williams. It's ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to bring I don't know what you're gonna do with Shanahan.
What do I do with Shanahan, and what do I do with Purdy?
Because
this is his contract year, right? Like, if I'm Shanahan and I'm arrogant as I have been, in the previous years, I may think that I could find a quarterback in this draft because we didn't do as well. We didn't make the playoffs. We're a higher draft pick. This is the only chance with my roster that I'm thinking I'm going to have to be able to pick a good quarterback in the first round. He may draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if he picked the last quarterback and won with him, he feel like he can pick a quarterback anywhere and win games.
Right.
True.
So I got Purdy. So now I can get a first round pick.
So if he does pick a quarterback, what quarterback do you feel fits best for his system?
He's not going to do that. I don't think he'd do that because of the fact that you got.
If they miss the playoffs,
I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna play the game, but
if they've missed the playoffs and got a top 15 pick, you don't think he'll take a quarterback?
No, they on the timeline, so they gotta, you gotta win now with the guys that they got. That
if I get a quarterback and start my timeline over. Because now I ain't got to pay somebody for another 5 years. I was going to play Purdy this year. I can just let him go.
You can't, but you got win now vets on the field. So you got a Super Bowl.
So
opportunity.
I'm going to get a quarterback, I think, and walk right in like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix did and CJ Stroud before then. I'm going to find that quarterback in the first round. See, Kyle Shanahan, to Nick's credit, one of the few things he was right about with Kyle Shanahan, like he has an ego. So Kyle Shanahan going to look at it like whoever I pick in the first 15 picks because we didn't make the playoffs, I think this dude can come in and start for us day one, whether it be Cam Ward, whether it be either one of those two sorry Heisman candidates.
It's going to be
from Pittsburgh or wherever the fuck. Or
to answer your question,
I can move up and get Shador.
Well, to answer your question, he don't have to move up. He can stay and pick Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart can throw the football. And that's a Kyle Shanahan quarterback.
That
he's one of those guys, and he's one of those ones that can come in second round and take the league by storm. Third round, take the league by storm. So don't count out Jackson Dart being a good quarterback because I think he's a really, really good quarterback.
That's a good one, Shells.
Yeah. Guadalupe last week asked, "What did y'all think of Mike Tyson's cheeks?"
Pause, man. Hey, Guadalupe, I ain't think nothing of Mike Tyson's cheeks, man.
We tried to forget about it, and here he comes. Oh man.
Hey, but that was, I was not prepared for that moment because I saw the, I'm watching what are they talking about? So it popped up on my Twitter feed. And I'm like, man, oh my God. That seemed like a skit, man. That seemed like that wasn't real.
The fact that Netflix took time out and like zoomed in on that, like they could have cut that out. They could have just kept the camera high. I know Rod ain't here, but Rod could tell us how they could have just like that could have been avoided, but they decided to do it. That was crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, man, this is a joke, man. This is hilarious. That was just hilarious. This whole thing was hilarious.
It was crazy.
And then they had, I don't know if y'all seen the meme, but he was walking out there with that coat on. It's like when you tell your kid to go get dressed.
Let me ask y'all, FIFO and Sheldon, I want to ask y'all because I got a different response from Mr. Mike still on. Do y'all think that was a real fight though, or do y'all think the fight was staged?
Absolutely, it was staged. Absolutely,
it was staged. Both of y'all say it was staged.
Absolutely, 100%. As a boxing fan and a boxing purist, I'm telling you, Mike Tyson is not that weak. There's no way you're gonna convince me that
He's
Mike
60
Tyson.
years old.
I don't care how old Mike Tyson is. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Ain't no difference for a fighter like Tyson.
Real, man. I think that was
absolutely
real,
not. For a fighter like Tyson, training there's no difference in training in a real fight. As a matter of fact, for him, he's more of a machine. So everything he does, even today at his advanced age, if you watch him train, it would be the same thing in the ring. He didn't do none of the stuff he did in training. So that's not Mike Tyson. That's not the Mike Tyson we know. And he ain't got to hit you one time. Uppercuts was there all night, and that's his punch. He didn't throw it once. That's why he's biting his glove, because he was like, I want to knock this motherfucker out right now. And he couldn't do it. And
you saw it.
Yeah, several people said in the contract there's no uppercuts and there's no hooks that you can throw. And you can tell he wasn't throwing those punches. And it was there. So that was a setup. It was 110% a setup. Also, I was telling my brother before the fight, I said, we know, because he was asking me about betting on it. We bet on Prize Picks. He was asking me about taking the bets. I was like, we're not betting on this fight. There's no way we're going to bet on this, because there's no way they're going to let Tyson beat this guy. This is all part of the plan. If Tyson had won this fight, that stops your cash cow. You can't go on and do this again. You can't make any more money. Jake Paul is killing the game just like Floyd Mayweather does. Same thing with these exhibitions. If you beat them in the exhibition, even if you can outpoint them, but if you hit him and knock him out, that's the end of it. There's no more Jake Paul. So we can't do that. That's the cash cow. So that's why, yes, this was a rigged fight.
Interesting.
Dang. Commanders, pretenders, or contenders or pretenders. They look like pretenders now. But, who's the quarterback, the coach? They say he does this.
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, he does.
No, that's not the head coach.
No, he didn't talk about the head coach. He's talking about the coordinator, right?
Right? Well, somebody starts fast and finish slow.
No, it's Kingsbury.
28-3. Dan Quinn, head coach of the Falcons, start early, end terrible.
No, but I saw what Ken is talking about, and you're right too, Lou. But what Ken is talking about is they showed like Cliff Kingsbury's record, and they showed it even going back to Texas Tech, how he starts every season fast and always ends up, with the losing record down the stretch. So, and I'll pull that and send it to you. But yeah, he does have a habit of doing that. He did the same thing with Kyler Murray all those years. We saw Kyler Murray get out to the 8-0 start and look like world leaders. And then every year they tail off. And it just, you hit a wall at times, and Washington is in a tough part of their schedule. This is not an easy schedule they're playing. Mm-hmm. So, in any given Sunday, you playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys and Commanders is not an easy football game. I don't care who on the field. So it happens.
Yeah, division games are crazy like that. This will lead into the next topic. Tweets Open Door says Saquon is on pace for 400 touches. He's going to break down if you're forcing the ball. They're doing what it takes to win. So those are the super chats from last week, which leads us to the Eagles defeating the LA Rams on the road, 37-20 in a dominant performance. And we want to know, man, should Saquon be leading the MVP candidate discussion moving forward? And he only needs 713 yards to break Eric Dickerson's record, which is 119 yards per game. I think so. I don't know if they'll give it to him because of what Josh Allen is doing. But clearly, as I mentioned earlier about the Bills, I got the same feeling about the Eagles. And I sent it to you guys after that game. Saquon Barkley signing, depending on how this season ends, may be one of the greatest signings in NFL history if they win the Super Bowl. And all signs point to them being able to do that with the way the defense playing, with the way Saquon is. Because what's going to happen with what Saquon is doing is people are going to start paying attention to Saquon. They still got A.J. Brown. They still got Devontae Smith. And Jalen Hurts can take off and run with it. And and God forbid somebody get behind one of the people on the secondary or a safety come up on a play action pass. Like, it makes everything that much easier. And planning for a game on offense should be that much easier, and it should create hell for defensive coordinators. This has to absolutely be the year they win the Super Bowl. No reason why they shouldn't.
And Saquon Barkley's best career year with the Giants, he rushed for 1,300, a little over 1,300 yards. In 11 games with the Eagles, he's already eclipsed the most he's ever, his most productive season with the Giants already in 11 games. That just says a lot of, everything that you talked about, all of the ancillary pieces on the outside. Like, you can't stack the box against this guy. You can't really, bring the type of pressure that you want consistently because Jalen could run the thing as well. So the defensive coordinators have to play honest. You got to play a hat on a hat football with these guys. And then when it's a hat on a hat, they win it one-on-one. We saw Saquon at the beginning of the second half take the first carry and he was out. You got to play one-on-one with these guys because you can't cheat over anywhere. And if you do, you're even more exposed now. So now and that's what I've been saying for some weeks now. On paper, the Eagles should be the best team in the NFL. It should, but it doesn't always translate. We're seeing that the Saquon effect is for real. And week to week, I do think Jalen Hurts does look better. I think that offense is starting to look more symmetrical. It's starting to look more cohesive. And as long as they continue to get better week by week, this could be or should be the NFC representative.
On paper, you're right.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, to be honest with you, as much as y'all know, I love Saquon. To be honest, no, Lamar Jackson to me is still the MVP right now. That's in my opinion. And I'm saying that because you got to be honest. The man is doing more with less. He has 3 interceptions, and if you look at those 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, yeah, Lamar Jackson is doing more with less.
Derrick Henry.
Who did I say?
You said Lamar Jackson.
You said Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, Lamar
Jackson
doing more with less. What I mean by that, no, he does have Derrick Henry, but I'm saying look at the receivers he's throwing the ball to. These guys are decent, but they ain't making plays like that. He's doing. Saquon has the best offensive line in football. Saquon has rushed for over 600 yards before first touch. Now I love what Saquon is doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Saquon guy through and through. Y'all know I'm loving it. But 600 yards before first touch, have y'all ever heard this first time in the NFL it's ever been done? So to say Lamar is doing more with less, he does not have that same protection that anybody else has. He does not have the type of weapons around him for him to be able to do what he's doing at this level. And it's a quarterback's award. So right now he has to be the front runner, to be honest, in my opinion. So that's why I say more with less. Lamar is getting it done. But what Saquon is doing is incredible. And
Saquon should be in the conversation.
Oh, he's to me, he's 1A. And I agree with what Ocho said, which is crazy. I mean, not Acho. He said if he breaks Eric Dickerson's record, then he should win the MVP. And I agree. If he breaks the record,
going to be my point. That was going to be my point, Sheldon, coming off of what you said. Yeah, if he breaks that record, then he's going to win the MVP. Like if he gets 2,000, he ain't even got to break Eric Dickerson's record. He just got to get 2,000 yards.
2,000 yards.
He's going to be the MVP.
I'm with you, and I'm just proud of the fact that he gives credit where credit is due. He's like thinking his line like we did it. He's that line, man. Them dudes, man. Makai Becton. I'm looking at. Let me tell you about Harry Roseman and everybody.
We don't want to hear about this shit, man. Y'all having an all right season. Y'all having an all right season. Y'all just so happen to pick up the best fucking free agent in football. Let's give a shout out to the GM and the line. And like, nah, nigga, let's take
Saquon out of that. This man signed Makai Becton, who was a tackle who was thrown in the trash. He was a bust.
Hey, listen.
And this dude has been one of the best guards. When they said they were moving him to guard, I'm like, what? But he's been one of the best guards in football. This dude, they call him I-77. This dude is running people over. And you look at Vic Fangio and what he's done with that defense. Pretty much the same pieces last year, adding a couple of rookies. And these dudes is balling. Like, It's crazy. But Saquon is
to have a running back and quarterback and doing what they're able to do
is amazing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And a terrible head coach like that
is amazing.
I think that adds to what Saquon Barkley's MVP like.
It adds. If you talk about White
Sirianni and I got Hurts as my quarterback and I'm still doing what I'm doing.
If you talk about white man's luck,
it says a lot.
White man's luck. Sirianni is the fourth or fifth winning coach in the history. So he
high on the white man's luck list.
So Sirianni, man, that's why Howie gets all the credit in the world. He put the right coordinators in there, and it's paying off. It's showing.
And all jokes aside, the defense is so much better this year. Like y'all defense, even from the first 6 games till now, like the Eagles defense is really doing well as far as what they need to do to hold their opponents to what Jalen Hurts is capable of. And what Saquon Barkley can do. Yeah, like the defense is doing a great job.
And the biggest thing about the defense, and I know this ain't a Philly thing, but the adjustments that they're making in the game is the most impressive thing to me. Because the first drive in just about every game, it looked like, okay, this is gonna be a long night because they just walking down the field.
They fix it ASAP.
Immediately. It's like that's a totally different. Yeah, it's like, okay, y'all ain't doing that no more. That ain't gonna work no more. And before you know it, it's automatically, it's three and outs. That's it. You ain't getting. Don't even throw towards what Quinyon Mitchell is doing, and what Cooper DeJean is doing is amazing. Because these guys are coming in here and they are looking like vets, and it's like everybody's like in amazement because you got Cooper Kupp and Puka. I mean, they had decent games, but they weren't ever in this game because these guys couldn't get off. And Matt Stafford made some incredible throws that only Matt Stafford could make, but they were right there on those plays. These guys weren't open like they are on most of these people that they're playing. Fangio had them dudes ready to play ball, and they all showed up. I'm hurt because Brandon Graham went down with a season-ending injury, and his career may be over. Hopefully, he comes back for year 16. But hey, you can't say nothing bad about this team.
I think the MVP will go to Josh Allen, but I think it should be Saquon. And let's see here. What are the odds so far? Right now, Vegas on The Athletic, they have Josh Allen, 1, Lamar Jackson, Barkley, Goff, and Mahomes. So
Goff would be 1 if he didn't throw them 5 interceptions.
And Goff had games in there, Ludo, where he didn't even complete 400 yards. So we can't. How is he?
It don't matter. I think the team being the record that they have, if he had just avoided having that 5 interception game, he would be number 1 right now. Especially if he can go out and perform well on Thanksgiving Day. Everybody gonna be watching.
You think he would be over Josh Allen?
I do.
Lou, that's crazy.
If he
no, I know. I'm just saying. I'm taking your scenario.
I just think that, like, people are all on the lines nuts right now. They're the Cinderella team. He's going out there. He's completing 70% plus of his passes. Like, the media would have sold that story to everybody as far as him being the MVP, and I think he would have won it.
Nah, Lou, well, I just look at. I don't look at it that way with him. I look at it like that team is clicking on all cylinders right now. The running game is what is the engine that pushes that team, but I don't see him being.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying they need to put a face. Yeah, exactly. The media needs to put a face to what the Lions are doing. Hutchinson is hurt. Campbell is old now. They don't really want to use him as a coach. They would have loved to be able to say, "Oh, this is Jared Goff. He's been to another Super Bowl, All-American boy, first pick, and him being like a redemption tour."
Yeah,
he probably would even won comeback player of the year or some bullshit like that for no reason.
He may have been 3rd. I think without that 5 INT game, number 1 is. I think that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's still he
without the 5 INT game, where would you have him, Ken?
I think he would be 3rd. I think they would still have Allen and Lamar above him.
I think
he just would be above Barkley though.
I can see that.
Put him above Lamar. I would say Allen then him.
I can't put him above. Like I said, Lamar has Lamar got 30 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and you could account for those 3 interceptions not being his fault. He should basically have no interceptions right now.
They're about to do to Lamar the same thing that they did with Jokic. Like, you ain't won no championship yet. We ain't finna keep giving you these MVPs. I don't care how good you look in the regular season.
I got you.
He's not getting the MVP this season.
And this
he can go 40 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
You know the crazy thing? Well, I don't know what his rushing numbers are, but Allen's stats aren't really all that great. They're only 18 and 5.
They are not. Yeah, they aren't.
And that's the reason I say what I say, Ken. It ain't even that people are outperforming Lamar at this point. It's just like, we're not going to keep giving you the MVP if we don't know if you can win in the playoffs.
That's all it is.
That's where the writers are right now. Like, so I firmly believe that someone else, even though he's going to have the best season this year, as far as Lamar and the Ravens, like, he's going to have the best season this year, Lamar Jackson is, they still going to give the MVP to someone else because he ain't won a meaningful playoff game yet. And I ain't saying that's wrong or right or if I agree with it, but I still think that's the way that the writers are going to lean. It's like, oh, well, we got to see it, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know why I thought his numbers were better than that, but yeah, he has 5 rushing touchdowns, 300 yards rushing, so it's not like he's making up for it on the ground, as opposed to last year he had 15 rushing touchdowns, but
right.
Yeah, oh well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's get into our weekly picks. I'm just gonna skip over these last 2 questions since we got a little basketball talk in there. It's about the Texans and the Steelers, and we've talked enough about them. We don't need to talk about them anymore. If you would have put something different on here, we're probably gonna have had a conversation about them. But you know, I like to switch it up sometimes. But let's see. Where are we here? Hopefully these are labeled. I don't think I have the updated records in here. I just have the picks. I do not have the stats, the data, for where we are on the season. I can tell you, I think I went 1-3 last week, but
I think I went 3-1.
But yeah, I don't know. They didn't put that in there. Nick is not here. So let's get into our picks. We're gonna start with Atlanta versus the Chargers.
I got my picks in.
I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah, I put my picks in time though.
Obviously
neither
not.
did Nick. Hey, Nick got to send them joints in a text message. Talking about you gonna go 5-0? Hell no.
Jalen should have a record of it. But all right. Well, we don't know who Nick picked, nor Sheldon. Who did you get?
The Chargers.
Damn, I guess I might be the only one going with the Falcons.
Can you pick the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl? So we ain't even surprised.
It's not over yet, Lou. Just a bump in the road, and the Chargers could be a way to solve that. What Raheem Morris said that he believes in this team ability to bounce back. I mean, they lost a division game, man. You know, these division games are crazy. They lost to the Saints, you know, and then, I mean, but we just saw the Steelers lose to the Browns. So we just saw the Commanders lose to the Cowboys. So shit happens. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they need to get the ship right because, you know, they definitely, I think, need to win the division. But that's why I went with them.
Yeah, hopefully they can pull it off.
Yeah, I do too, man. You know, but we'll see.
Leave Quentin Johnson open, you'll win.
He gonna be all right, man. Next up, we have Buffalo and San Francisco.
And we all got Buffalo.
Okay.
Me and Ken the only one sending our picks here.
I sent mine in. FIFA, we can't hear you on mute.
I sent mine in because I had the graphic on the last one.
Who you have?
I don't know what Jalen doing there.
Hold on, let me make sure.
Jalen, who you got, people?
It's that holiday week, man.
it From here until New Year's, you don't know what to expect. From here until after New Year's, you don't know what to expect with people with what they put up as far as effort.
Well, I got Buffalo.
Now watch the Niners win this
Who
game.
Who you got, FIFO?
It's at Buffalo too.
Buffalo at home, and this is a blizzard game, Ken. It's gonna be a blizzard.
Yeah. What happened to Purdy last week?
He was in practice, and that's when I sent it in. I was like, man, I don't want to change my pick, but Purdy was in practice, and I was watching on Twitter, and they were saying, man, he tried to throw a couple passes in his arm. He couldn't even throw the ball like play catch. So something happened with his arm, and they were reporting during practice like something is going on with his arm. He can't even throw the ball to a person standing in front of him. So that arm went out early, and this was early in the week. So he was done, and he went into the locker room. So something's going on with his arm. I'm not sure what. And I'm not sure.
They were like, dang, this is how he look in the games.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it's that same injury or what, but yeah, his arm wasn't right. And I had no idea that Bosa was going to be out as well, but yeah, it don't matter. And I don't even know if Debo played or not, but Debo, he was there.
He was out there. He didn't play.
He was out there. He was That's a good point.
Yeah, Green Bay did them the way they should have, dirty.
Yes.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Yeah, maybe he uploaded the wrong ones. I don't know, or saved up. I don't know what this is.
I had Pittsburgh,
but yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I had Pittsburgh. I'm not.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, Nick went with Cincinnati.
I'm sure he did.
Oh, Vipo, you going with Cincinnati? That's interesting.
Yeah, well, with Cincy, divisional game. Joe Burrow's been balling, but it hasn't translated to wins. But I think it isn't necessarily going to save their season, but I think he has a big game, and it's kind of like, all right, let's quiet the noise just a little bit. I think it's one of those, I'm the greatest QB ever type of games from Joe Burrow.
The Steelers have 6 division games. They could easily go 3-3 in them. And I think the Bengals have been close in a lot of these games. They just haven't won them. This could be the one because there may be some math there where they think they may got a shot.
They do,
especially with Oh, wow. So, Steelers having all those division games, who knows? We've seen the Steelers start hot and finish cold before. So it's not like this can't happen. And, so Russ, he still got to work his way into the system. So, and it's in Cincinnati too. So, next up, Philly and Baltimore. I should have saved this one for last. Shelton, who you going with?
Philadelphia.
All right.
Yeah.
Who you say, Phil?
I'm Eagles. They rolling, baby. They rolling. You're gonna keep this train going.
This is the Derrick Henry versus Saquon game. Except only one team actually gives the ball to their running back. So we'll see if Baltimore will stay committed and try to keep them off the field. I think Derrick Henry is a little bit older too. But yeah, should be a very, very interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting game.
Yeah.
It'll say a lot about Philly. Philly win this game, bro. It'll make me feel even more confident what I feel about them. Especially, I think you guys were talking about Baltimore's defense ain't that good. So, but it's in Baltimore.
Yeah, this could be a game.
I expect the Eagles to get outcoached and outplayed. However,
outcoached
and outplayed. I expect that to happen. But since Baltimore's defense is so bad, Philly still does have a chance. But I thoroughly expect them to be outcoached and outplayed in this game.
Baltimore has more at stake in this game. I will say that. But
they do. That's a fact.
But it's still,
and that's
this Eagles team is playing like a cohesive unit, and it's gonna be tough. Either way, it depends on. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it depends on what we do with ball control. Who's able to keep their offense on the field the longest. And the one thing about Philly that they have to do is start scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They're kicking too many field goals right now.
Yeah, I feel like Philly's still on the up and up. I don't think that they figured it all out. Neither have the Ravens, but like I agree with you with the stake in this game coming off a bad loss that the Ravens took last week. Like they got to win this. They got to win this game to keep pace. So I'm again, my money's on Baltimore, man.
Last one, and I don't know why this game was picked. Miami and Green Bay.
Miami is picked because Miami is on a heater right now. They're playing good football. They're finally looking like what we thought Miami would look like. That's why he put this on here. And Green Bay has been playing well too. So both these teams are playing like you expect them to. Let me look back at my thing because I forgot. Green Bay. I picked Green Bay to pull it out. They are playing in Green Bay. And I'm looking at a weather game as well. So, that's the biggest element. Plus, you got Jacobs. Hey, let me ask y'all something. If you see if y'all know it, I'm sorry for cutting it, but the 3 running backs were moved. You had Saquon Barkley moved to the Eagles from the Giants. You had Derrick Henry moved from
Jacobs.
And Jacobs.
And they leading the league in rushing, and all of their teams could have re-signed them.
And all them teams together, like they 29-8 or something like that. And they teams that they left are got worst records ever.
The Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Titans.
It's just
Cowboys, the Raiders, the Titans we don't need these running backs. And then good teams came in with no, let's take this good running back. Yeah. And now you have the Eagles, the Packers, and the Ravens. So I seen that stat too, Shelby.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I read that
top 2 rushers were available free agency.
I read that the Eagles, it was a no-brainer for the Eagles because they already had everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They said the roster was pretty much intact. So we got the receiver, we got a quarterback we like that wins that has gotten us to the Super Bowl, that knows the system. We got defense, we've drafted guys, we got everything else.
Got the offensive line.
So why not?
Yeah. Right. And who knew he was going to do this? Nobody had any clue.
Not me, because I was a Barkley believer.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people, Ken. And I ain't gonna say I was too. I'm not gonna say I wasn't believing in Barkley. I'm like, it ain't gonna be much different. That's what I thought, but I was wrong.
Well, I went with the Dolphins in this one. I don't know, man. Jordan Love is, we'll see. But it could have been. It was a pick 'em for me. Right. Let's do our super chats and call it a night. Z-Hart wait. I already read this one. Commanders, contenders and pretenders, not Super Bowl, but can they at least contend to win a playoff game or two? Not
two. They won't win 2 playoff games. They can win.
Yeah, they're definitely a playoff team.
Okay. Yeah, I guess because they just got to win the division, right? Well, no, that's not going to happen. That's a wrap.
No. Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
Well,
7-5.
Yeah, 7-5 is good enough because you got to look at the other 2 divisions, and everybody's beating up on each other out west. And who else is in New Orleans? Yeah. So
the South, I'm going to have 1 representative, which is going to be the division winner.
Right.
So,
and the same thing probably with the West because they're all 500. So as long as you keep a winning record and beat up on the teams that you're supposed to beat up on, Washington should be fine.
Okay. Birdman,
they can beat one of those division winners. I'm sorry.
Okay. Birdman at 5-0. Rick Ross is owed an apology. Drake is indeed white. Oh man. Rob Costa, any plans for another call-in show? Happy birthday, Euphoria.
Appreciate that, Rob.
Not right now. but I'll think about it.
Vikings, the team y'all forgot though. The Vikings, the team y'all forgot.
Oh yeah, the Vikings.
That's the team that are not washing it out. They have a better record, and the Lions are going to win that division. Then the Vikings could knock them out.
Shit, ain't no guarantee the Lions gonna win that division, bro. Because the Vikings are right there.
The Lions gonna win that division.
I mean, I think they will too. But what I'm saying is, they only one game out. I forgot about them.
It's true. But that being said, that's going to knock the Commanders out, because the Vikings are going to get the number 5 seed, and then the Commanders are going to have to come in at, if they can beat the 49ers or the Seahawks out.
Ooh, okay. I'll see if I can find. Yeah, I'll think about it and see where we can do a call-in show. Vibes and stuff are the 24 Chiefs to 23 Eagles, whose impressive record didn't match their performance and ultimately collapsed toward the end of the season.
Vibes and stuff. That's a good. I was gonna say no too. I thought about that, but the difference in those two teams, that Chiefs defense is stout. They have a stout defense and they have a solid coaching staff. So your pieces are in place for them to stay stable even through the storm. Whereas the Eagles, they had 2 coordinators that were lamed up coordinators. You had holes all over the defense. You had deficiencies that were being masked by the talent that was in place. So the stability wasn't there.
The 24 Chiefs have a quarterback on their team.
I know you. Hey, I will say this, Lou.
I know you try to talk as long as you could for me to be able to say that.
Lou, they have the greatest quarterback in the game on that team too. Right. So you're right on that point. I give you that. I give you that one.
Man, that 33-yard run,
man,
like
that felt as fake as the Tyson fight,
man.
Bro, it's just like no worries.
How you stop that?
I don't know.
Tackle him. They standing right. Them professional athletes. You can't tackle Patrick Mahomes.
As soon as he started drifting, I'm like, oh, he about to take off. And then nobody was there. He just kept going.
Right. And then they started falling down like them tacklers in the movies. I was like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, crazy. Alex says Sean Payton's still the Doc Rivers of the NFL.
That is funny.
Oh, man.
Vibes and stuff. Barkley leaving the Giants would single-handedly get their QB, coach, and GM fired. Amazing. By the way, Dayball tricked y'all.
Dayball still your coach.
He did, Vibes and stuff. He sure did. But you're right. Barkley leaving will get all them fired. And the fact that they had it documented on Hard Knocks is the greatest thing ever. That's so sweet because I keep seeing the videos.
They'll never do that again.
No,
you'll never see that version of Hard Knocks ever again.
And the fact that the GM was so confident in what he was saying, like, can I get
what
your word on that?
He said, go talk to other teams.
Yeah, go see what they got.
Let us know what they're saying and come back and talk to us after you talk to them.
Yeah, he said,
just don't go to the Eagles, okay?
Yeah, he said, can I get your word on that?
And you got to watch it. It's crazy.
Well, you know what I want. Like, and at first they were trying to make it seem like Saquon was kind of, but now it's the narrative completely shifted. And they like the GM was being an asshole. Like he was basically like whatever. But the owner came in and said, he said, you don't know how much sleep I'm going to lose if Saquon goes to the Eagles. Like
the Eagles. He said it specifically, like, Ken, if you get time, watch this Hard Knock series of the Giants.
Yes.
It is baffling.
Yes.
That these niggas still have jobs into the season because they did everything that you could want to go wrong. They did it. They did all the wrong shit. They sit in a room and had conversations about Daniel Jones being way more important to the Giants than Saquon Barkley. They put that on TV and released it to everybody on HBO. It is crazy.
And the owner told him what he wanted.
They'll never do this again. This is the one and done season of this. It's never going to happen again.
The owner, they convinced the owner that it was okay to let Saquon test the market. See, what they thought was, and somebody said, oh, like we got some secret inside information that the Bears have driven the price up on Saquon and the Eagles are out. So their hope was that he was going to Chicago and Philly was out. Well, Philly was Harry Roseman, was me and Harry Roseman. He's playing possum and swooped in and scooped him up and had everything in his favor. It was just brilliant.
The Giants GM told Saquon to his face on camera in front of HBO. He said, hey, man, go listen to what the other people have to say and come back to me before you sign with anybody else and let me know what they had to say. Like thinking that was going to work, though. It was crazy to see.
He thought he was playing hardball.
They'll never do this form of Hard Knocks again.
He thought he was playing hardball with the wrong,
one. Idiot.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And Saquon has Philly ties, so it was such an easy move. It wasn't like it was nothing hard at all. Saquon played at Penn State. It was easy.
And Saquon said like this was he came out and talked about it after that. He was like, bro, this was a surprise to me. He's like, I would have preferred not to have had that conversation with the GM on camera, but they like kind of like ramshacked me, and I just had to do it because I agreed to do whatever it is with Hard Knocks. But he was like, I wouldn't even had this conversation with them on camera because I know what it would have turned into and how bad they would have looked.
And then they cut Daniel Jones.
And then they cut Daniel Jones, which makes him even more wrong.
Crazy.
Yeah. Last two, never forget, FIFA wanted the Celtics to trade Jaylen Brown for Scoot Henderson.
Ooh.
Yeah, FIFA.
Your guy Scoot.
It was me. It was me.
Spike.
It was me too.
No. It was Shelby.
It was me. It was me.
No, me
I know, but you've been calling out Scoot.
I ain't gonna lie. It was me in there on Scoot.
Yeah, I knew that nigga.
I saw Scoot hoop, man. I don't know what happened.
What happened, people? Can Scoot play? We still holding out on Scoot?
Scoot can play. He's not going to hit the potential we thought he was going to hit for whatever reason. It's not going to be that. But at the same time, look, I'll still stick to my guns where I said that if you're going to have to make a choice, I would keep Jason. And you have to get him a point guard. So Scoot was the best point guard coming in. So
right now, Jason Tatum does not appear to be proving you wrong. He is playing like he's like the best player in the league right now. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah. Last one, Melanin Man. Embiid is a fat kitten. When he cried out snot bubbles after Kawhi hit the shot, I knew he was toilet tissue. Go get in shape or holla. Man, everybody just
hard. I think y'all being
they
hard.
are, man. Yeah, people love to hate on Embiid.
Yeah,
it's been like that for years.
He's an easy
what
target.
Has he done?
He's an easy target.
Even before then, FIFO. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It was just something.
Yeah, that's what the problem is.
Yeah, he's an easy target.
It's like it's like there's always like in the league or somewhere where they just find this one guy, he's just gonna be the target forever. Zion was like that for a while and still kind of sort of is, and Zion's gonna be next. Watch. After they done with Embiid, Zion's gonna be next. He's gonna be the next one.
I'm surprised he made it this far.
I was gonna say, he right now. Like they trying to get him out of here right now. I don't know why. I don't know why none of this shit. I don't know why none of this shit haven't worked, but like it should be working to get Zion out of here, bro.
When I saw them say
that they structured the contract was that they could cut him.
They need to.
Ooh, really?
When I saw them say Zion looked like he was saying, "Give me my brother's ball back," I thought I was gonna lose my man because that really do look like that. If you look at that video, you'll see it.
They like him from Boys in the Hood, though.
Dragon Knight
next to LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, they do have one.
That was crazy. Yeah, they got a picture of Zion.
It was the same age. LeBron was 23, and LeBron was 23, and he said he looked.
No, they have one where LeBron is 39. So like right now,
LeBron now.
I thought it was a 24-year-old picture of LeBron.
No.
Oh, it was a recent picture of LeBron.
Yeah, that's LeBron today.
That's even worse. That's even worse. I thought it was an equal to equal picture.
No,
it was God, bro.
That's today versus Zion.
They said Zion, and to Sheldon point, they said Zion looked like dude from Boys in the Hood. Like, give a brother his ball back. Give him his ball.
You gotta see it. If you see it, man. If you see it, I saw it. I passed out.
Dragon Knight, I'm not in denial. I know exactly who and what Embiid is. I just accepted it a long time ago. It's just when I said that I don't think he's going to ever win a championship. And that was a couple of years ago, by the way. But, I just always find society fascinating when they find villains or guys that they don't like and how they just move in one accord. It's like like when you watch kids play soccer sometimes, and everybody just chase the ball, and just go where this thing is at. So, yeah. Embiid's career is what it is. And that shit don't affect me one way or the other because I don't have his money and I don't have anything he got. So I don't care. So anyway, that is it for us. We will definitely be back next week, and we'll be heading into December. Crazy. How many weeks of football left, Lou?
We have 8 more weeks of football left as far as regular season. 4 more weeks. Well, 12 weeks actually. 8 weeks of regular season, 4 weeks of playoffs. Then we get
FIFO. Guadalupe want to know if you still believe in Zion.
Nah. That ship has sailed. You don't want it.
I still believe in Zion, man. Zion gonna be back. He gonna figure.
Oh, he gonna be back and then gone again.
Hey, they got breaking baseball news. The Dodgers have signed Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. So the rich get richer in baseball, if you care.
Mm.
I just want to throw out this amazing stat. I just found. So Gabe Vincent from the LA Lakers has recorded 3 games this month with triple donuts, 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists. Against the Magic, he did that in 14 minutes. He did that against the Grizzlies in 13 minutes, and he did that against the Pistons in 17 minutes. I don't know how you play 12, 13, 14 minutes and you have 0.0 assists, 0 rebounds.
That's wild.
Yeah, they got to get rid of him. And it wasn't like that in Miami, which is crazy.
Gabe been bullshitting since he got there, right?
Yeah.
It's the LeBron effect, bro. If you look at every one of these guys,
everybody else playing good,
that
bro.
don't make no sense.
You got to take some responsibility, bro.
How is that LeBron? Like you not shooting and Brown is pass first.
LeBron,
bro, come on. You got to take some responsibility, man.
Not in this particular situation, Shelton. Not with Gabe Vincent, bro.
I'm blaming LeBron, man. I got to blame LeBron.
Man, they hired him to be a gun. It's like, bro, don't worry about no damn defense. Jack these joints up when they come to you, bro. 0.0 rebound, 0 assists. You did that 3 times in a month, and you getting paid. They're paid.
That's wild.
Oh, what?
And you blaming it on LeBron? Like, nigga,
I blame it on LeBron, man.
Nah,
LeBron be killing. He be killing all of dudes for real, man.
Nah, go sit down, homie.
Bro, Max Christie is putting up stuff. Bronny is putting stuff on the board, bro.
Man, what's my man named the rookie? Like he putting up bombs.
Oh, Connect 4.
Yeah, Connect 4 is going 35.
I don't know why JJ Redick put his ass back on the bench.
I don't know why he did it either, man. Unless he's trying to bolster the bench scoring, but there's no way he'd be on the bench for me. Y'all know how I feel about Connect.
You told me about him.
I wanted him in Charlotte.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, but when I saw that video, I was a believer. And then he put up 37. Hey, man, that white boy. Hey, I'm a fan.
I watched him play all year, and he played. He don't care. It don't matter who. Give me a ball and let me go to work, and that's what he does every time he get on the court.
He was doing that at Tennessee too.
Yeah.
Say it again.
He was doing that at Tennessee.
Absolutely.
When he played for the ball.
Lou,
when he played for
Lou,
the ball.
he was the main focal point. You double and triple teaming him, and he's still getting 40 points in the game. So he the truth. He's the truth. And I'm talking about he'll dunk on you, he'll shoot it in your face. It don't matter.
Bro, I saw a white boy alley-oop. It was Austin
That's
Reeves.
the wildest thing.
First time in NBA history.
I was like, yo, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on in 2024?
So, but yeah. All right, man. Well, we're going to call it there, man. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Oh, make sure. Yeah, we out. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.